Welcome to the Goal Setting and Achievement Process course. Some of what you will learn in this course includes the purpose of a goal. You cannot manage what you don't measure. The steps to setting goals. There's more to it than just writing them down. And don't just set them, achieve them. 8 practical ways of achieving goals. All you need to do is follow along in the PDF provided as Wayne explains goal setting in the achievement process. This course will show you how to design and live your ideal life. Because if you don't design your life, someone else will be happy to do it for you.
Okay. I'm going to start with a series of questions. So my first question is this. How many of you have heard it's important to set goals? May I see your hands, please? Okay, thank you. How many of you don't particularly enjoy the process that much? Okay, it's kind of a pain in the neck, right? I've been studying successful people for several years, and I found that success isn't an accident. It's amazing to me as I look around how many people are surprised when they succeed. Success is supposed to be normal. And success is planned. It's planned, it's executed. So how many of you ever set goals but had trouble achieving them? May I see your hands, please? Okay, thank you. So to me, it's a 2-step process. Setting them is one thing, but what do you do to put the systems in place that ensure that you're going to achieve them? So that's what today is about. So if you're not here for that, then you're in the wrong room. Before we get started, the first thing I want to do is thank you for your time. And the reason I do that is because long ago, a friend of mine said the most valuable thing anyone can give you is their time. So may I ask you this, how many consider your time valuable? May I see your hands? Okay, thank you. How many don't like when people waste your time? Okay, good. So I want to thank you for showing up. How many of other places other things you could be doing right now? Okay, good. So thank you for showing up. And thank you for your time. I'll do my best to make sure your time is well spent. So thank you for being here. For those of you that are online that we're broadcasting to, we have our satellite, our Salado office. So I'll say hi to Micah Johnson and her crew up there. We're doing an aggressive statewide expansion. So if you know anybody that wants to own a real estate school, let us know. We're franchising. So we're looking for locations we're putting 8 in Houston, a couple in San Antonio, and half a dozen in Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you're interested or know anybody who would like to run the turnkey real estate education company, let us know. So I want to say hi to our Salado office, Micah and her group up there. So thank you guys for showing up. I'll start with this. How many have heard that in order to be successful, you need to have a why? How many have heard this? Not the letter, W-H-Y. You need to have a reason. How many have heard you need to have a why? Okay, thank you. So how many of you have one? Okay, how many of you do not? Everybody has one. Good. Turn to the person next to you and tell the person next to you what your why is. You have 2 minutes. Ready? Go. What is your why? Tell the person next to you, why are you doing this? What is your why? Of all the things you could be doing, why real estate? What is your why? About 10 seconds, please begin finishing up. And stop. Hold your hand up like this. Give your partner a high five and say, good why. Okay, who would care to share their why? Who would care to say why they do this, PJ? Yes, please. You want a quality of life? Okay, thank you. Nicely said. Anyone else? Jackie? Your why is to make money? Okay, good. Thank you. I like it. Anyone else? Please.
To make money, but also just to help people.
So you want to make money, but also enjoy helping people. That's a pretty good business, getting paid for helping others. I saw this quote from my office manager in 1980 something when I got started. It said, real estate is the best business in the world. We help make other people's dreams come true while achieving our own. And it's always stuck with me. So thank you. May I ask your name? Susan, nicely said. Thank you. I saw another hand back there. Anyone else? Yes. Hi, Judy. Excuse me? Say that again.
I've been doing this for 42 years. I can't imagine doing anything.
Can't imagine doing anything else. Okay, I don't know what you heard, but I'll tell you what I heard. When I ask people this, what I hear is this. They tell me what they want. So I don't think this is right. This is it right here. So my question to you is, what do you want? For me personally, I'm just speaking personally. For me, it's not about the why. When you ask someone, why do you do it, they tell you what they want. So really, it's about what we want. We do things because we want something. So my question to you is, what do you want? What do you want? Here are my questions. Why do you want that? How will you know when you have it? How many seen people hit a goal and keep going? Anybody? Okay, this is called overrun. Be careful of overrun. That's my first warning of the day. Be careful of overrun. You'll know you're in overrun because you want to kick that buyer right out of the car or in the teeth. Get away. Lose my number. Never call me. If you're on a listing presentation, the seller says, I want 550 and it's 450 all day long. And you go, what are you, crazy? You're in overrun. So this is what we're going to talk about today. What do you want? Are you ready? Who does not have a handout? Please turn to it. First line. If you don't have a handout, raise your hand and PJ will give you one. Line 1. Please write this down. You should have a blank there. Yeah? Okay. Please write this down. I was born a genius and meant to be an incredible success. Just get that. No matter what anyone tells you or says to you throughout the day, all day, every day, as you go toward achieving goals, what happens is these barriers tend to pop up. How many decide your day was going along fairly well until you decide to go do something? And then all these barriers pop up. Has anyone noticed that? Okay, so when you set these goals, the higher the goal, the higher the barrier. It's like things start to move. And what I'm talking about here is this invisible force. If you understand that 99.9% of the universe is invisible, 99.9%. But humans as sensorial creatures, we focus on what we can touch, what we can see, what we can feel. If we can see it and touch it, it's real. Otherwise, we tend to question it. So what I'm saying is when it comes to achieving goals, this is the most important thing you can have. It's this pure, unadulterated will. So please write this down and keep it nearby. You were born a genius and meant to be an incredible success. Just know that. So when people start talking to you in their little small-minded world of negativity and can't and all these reasons why, just ignore them or get them out of your space. Your call. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. If you've got people full of want, need, negativity, scarcity, lack of, can't have it, start with your space. You got to get rid of it. So, number one, you were born in genius and meant to be incredible success. Just know that. So if you want, put that down, write it down, put it on the wall right in front of you. You can see it every day, right in front of you. So we talked about your why. Myth number one, you have to have a why. You don't need a why, you need a what. It's false. So you have two urges that drive us, wants and needs. So if you want, you can fill that in. There are two urges that drive us, wants and needs. What are needs? What's the first thing we need to survive? Air. First is air. Cut off your air supply, you're dead in probably 2 minutes. So number one is air. Do we have air? Okay, good. What's the second most important thing we need? Water. Air, 2 minutes. Water, 2-3 days. Without water, our bodies, as you know, 80% water. Without water, fresh water, 3-4 days, your organs start shutting down. By day 5, you're done. So air first, water second. So these are needs. Then we need food. Food, a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. Depends on each person. So air, water, food, you got to have those. Shelter, maybe next. Some people go clothes next. It's a toss-up. Whether you want to be embarrassed or warm, I don't know. Then you need meds, I guess, communication, transportation. One thing that makes the standard of living so high in America is cheap and abundant electricity. So we have needs met. It's almost impossible to die here. If you went on a starvation diet, somebody would take you to the hospital and shove a meat pie in your mouth. So as far as needs, if you look at this country that we're so lucky to live in, I don't know if you watch the news, but I do. When I see these stories, Puerto Rico's a mess. Those poor people. There's no infrastructure. There's nothing out there. I feel bad for them. I feel good for us. I'm like, wow, am I lucky? Time to get rid of the excuses for not being what you want. Because everything you need is right in front of you. So now it starts getting fuzzy. So where is that line from need to want? So my question again, what do you want? Why do you want that? And how will you know when you have it? You should have another line there with 2 blanks in it. Do you have that? Okay. The want creates the need. So I'm going to ask you now to start preparing for this year. What do you need? Next line. Because if you had what you needed, you'd have what you want. So it's, what do you want? Why do you want it? How will you know when you have it? And then what do you need to get that? So when you say more money, is more money a good answer? Depends. What are the 2 rules of goals? Who is that? Nicely said. Tangible. Well, tell me what that means. Yeah. You got to be able to get there. I mean, number one, it's got to be, you got to be able to do it. I want to learn to fly without an airplane, just using my hands and flapping in the parking lot. Good luck. What else? Is this important? Okay. Yes? No? Yes. Okay. So let me ask you a question. How do you measure that? The answer was more what? How do you measure it? You can't, because it's just, you make $1, now $1 and a penny is more. $2 is more. You make 2, then $3 is more. If it's more, it never ends. It's just, are you with me? You got to have a goal. So the question is, how much? You'll hear this in people's languaging when they talk to you. Most people's languaging, 70 to 80%, is full of what I call fluff. Your job as business people, salespeople, is to cut through the fluff and find out specifically, what do you want? What specifically do you mean? It costs too much. How much too much? How much specifically too much does it cost? That's $100 too much. So when you say more money specifically, how much? So achievable, measurable. If you have what you need, well, you have what you want. A business has three purposes. I'm going to give you this overall view, then we're going to get into specifics, okay? Is that okay? Yes. Hello, you guys? Yes. Okay, number one, a business has three purposes. The first one is to give you your life. Okay, realtors, if you're giving your life to your business, stop. It won't reward you. It will not reward you in kind. Right, Ken? No, it won't. It won't. The purpose of a business is to give you your life. Did you need a handout? Have one? Okay. Thanks for showing up. Second purpose of a business is to solve a problem. Bigger the solve a problem. Bigger the problem, bigger the check. The millennial class of our society, there are over 31 billionaires under 40. They're solving huge problems. The bigger the problem, the bigger the check. So look at your bank balance and just ask yourself, how big are the problems I'm solving? Because that's a reflection. The third purpose of a business is to give you add value. Add value. Add value. The more value you add, the more in demand you become. So it's give you your life, solve a problem, add value. Those are three purposes of the business. Purpose of a business number one, give you your ideal life. Below that, it should say design your life. Most people spend more time earning a living, goes in that blank. You getting any questions, Shane? Everybody keeping up okay online? Okay. If you have any questions online, just email Shane. He'll tell PJ to answer them. Most people spend more time earning a living rather than designing their life. So if you don't design your life, somebody will be happy to do it for you. If you don't believe me, just post a question on Facebook. What should I do with the rest of my life, and see what happens. No shortage of opinions out there. So what are the two most valuable assets that you have? Okay, good. If you think this isn't important, leave your wallet at home and go throughout the day. See how long it takes you to panic. Please.
Usually I've heard time, money, and kind of working together. That's usually.
I do. I think they're all important. I agree. Time, money, energy, they're all investment. When I look at you, I see investors. You're all investors. And every day you invest. And you invest time, and you invest money, and you invest energy. And when you stop getting a return, you stop doing that. That's why some of you got divorced or ended that relationship, because there was no ROI in it. Return on investment. He, she's not worth this anymore. I'm moving on. That is not worth it anymore. So we're all investors. And we're investing time and money every day. And energy. So this is setting you up for this next question I'm going to ask you. If you had all the time and you had all the money, this is the bottom of the page you're looking at. If you had all the time and all the money, what would you do with the rest of your life? Please write it down. If you had all the time and all the money, is that a question, Patrice? Okay. If you had all the time and all the money, what would you do with the rest of your life? Bottom of page 1. If you had all the time and all the money, what would you do with the rest of your life? 2 minutes. Go. And stop. Hold your hand up. Give the person next to you a high five and say, I got mine. Page 2. Page 2. So if that's what you would do if you had all the time and all the money, and now you know what you do the rest of your life, what are you waiting for? Can I ask you a question? Do I have your permission to push you a little bit? Is that okay? Okay. Because I've had students walk out the hallway and grab me by the, I go, that was a little intense. Like, okay, I'll ask permission next time. We could dance around and not get much out of this, but I think if we ask some really important questions that make people think and take some action, we'll get some benefit. So is that okay if I push a little bit? Okay, so my question is, if you had all the time and all the money, what would you do? And you wrote that down. You're not doing that, then why not? Okay. Yeah, see, that's the important thing. See, this, the reason I focus on this, I'm going to get to this in a minute, but this takes up a majority of my time. And the reason why I focus on this is because I buy this back. The problem with being broke is it takes up so much of your time. It does. It's just it takes forever to get anything done. So it's not about this. It's about getting that so I can have a life. Once I can buy this back, I'm like, okay, good. Now I can do what I want. Because I have the what? Time. I'm not a slave anymore. So that's why we focused on these two. Our whole curriculum is designed to create an abundance of these two. How many get the feeling every now and then there's more to your life than earning a living? Okay, good. So that's what we're taught. Make good grades, be good, do as you're told, make good grades, get a good job, work hard. So you weren't put here to earn a living. You arrived here with a gift, something valuable to offer your fellow human beings, but we're taught to sell our body, mind, and spirit for a paycheck. I'm suggesting otherwise. So once you handle time and money, you can go do what you're supposed to be doing. That's what it's about, for me personally. Okay, top of page 2. Multitasking is overrated. The key to results is focus. So this is one of our sayings. Clarity leads to what? What does it mean? How many of you have ever been talking to somebody or someone was talking to you and suddenly you realized they weren't clear? Yeah. How many suddenly got confused? You know why? They were confused. They infected you. What's the definition of power? Ability to do. The ability to what? Do. It's the ability to do. All I know is every time I wasn't very clear on something, I usually found myself, I wound up on what I call the learning team. This is the joke I have, you know. We're taught not to make mistakes. You learn via trial and error. You're supposed to make them. I've made billions. That's how I know so much. And sometimes I win and sometimes I learn. There's no loser in that game. We can't teach you how to take a listening presentation in class. It's too sterile. You have to go screw 10 or 12 up. Then you'll learn. So you have to learn. You learn. Okay. So what I found is when I'm not clear, I usually wind up in a learning team. When I'm clear, I can usually get things done. Do you have that same experience? Okay, good. So this is our saying, clarity leads to power. So what we want to do is get real clear on this subject. Excuse me? It's called Adderall. Okay. So my question to you is, next line, what is the goal? He said Adderall. I think it's a drug. Knowing what I know about that fellow, I'm pretty sure it's a drug. So what is the goal? That's the next line. You can fill it in now, you can fill it in later, but ultimately what we want to get to is one goal. What is the number one overriding goal? Okay, there's our next quote. The trouble with being broke is it takes so much of your time, which it really does. Financial freedom is just a game, ladies and gentlemen. This thing, what we're doing, this earning a living thing, it's just a game. It's a silly little stupid game, but it's just a game. But you're the master of this game, or you're a slave of this game. That's what's in those blanks. You're either a master of the game or a slave of the game. The name of the game is to get out of the game. So, game. We're playing this game. Okay, so you have some blanks there. What are the elements of a game? Number one, there's a beginning. The game starts, the game is on. When does your game start? As soon as you get your license. When you get your license, this game called I'm a Realtor begins. That's the beginning. Your game starts when you get your license. Okay, your game is on. So, number two, there's time. These are elements of a game. There's a beginning, there's time, there's a score. Excuse me. 4, there are boundaries. 5, referee. 6, there are penalties. 7, there are rules. Number 8, there are players. 9, there's opposition. 10, you have equipment. 11, there's a goal. 12, plan or strategy. And then there's an end. So my question to you, ladies and gentlemen, when will this game that you decide to play end? Because it will end. And I went through training in 1985. Some people I went through training with are still flogging houses because they can't quit because they never planned anything. They have to sell them now. All I'm asking you is, do you want to have a choice? If you want to have a choice, you got to have a plan. Okay. So if it's a game, the name of the game is to get out, when will your game end? And what will you have when it ends? I've seen them. 10, 15, 20 years later, stared at the greatest source of wealth in their world, never put one piece in their asset column. Stared right at it, sold it to someone else, took their 3%, paid their IRS, their expenses, and their broker out of that, kept the crumbs that were left over, and went to the next deal. Never put one thing in their asset column. I'm telling you, the money in real estate is not made in the brokerage, it's made in ownership. You're staring at the greatest source of wealth in the world, American real estate. People all over the world come here to buy it. It's safe, it's protected, it's insured, and it typically goes up in value. Keyword being typically. Okay, so if it's time, how long? And fill in this blank. When? You gonna do this for 5 years, 10 years, 15? How long, or until what age? You're going to stop at 30, 40, 50, 60, 90? Some games are based on a score, some are based on time. Football is time, basketball is time, there's a clock. Golf, tennis, they're based on scores. So this is your game. If it's time, how long? If it's a score, what's your score? I mean, what are you going to call your winning score? Is it cash? If so, how much cash do you need to have on hand when you can say, that's it, I won my game, I'm done, I'm going to the next phase of my life? This is Peter Lynch from Magellan Fund. First, you work to learn, then you work to earn, then you work to return. 3 phases. Learn, earn, return. If it's cash, how much? If you don't know, that's fine. I know some of this stuff will take some thoughtful consideration, probably a conversation with your significant other. But y'all need to have that conversation. If it's cash flow, how much? Is it $5,000 a month? Is it $20,000 a month? Is it $30,000 a month? It doesn't matter what the number is. What matters is that you know and you put it down and your game begins, hit that number. Or is it net worth? So if it's time, how long or until what age? If it's financial, if it's cash, how much? If it's cash flow, how much? If it's net worth, how much? You can do that now, you can do that later. I recommend doing it. My wife and I, we met in 85, we got married in 92. Before we got married, we sat down and made some rules up. Rule number 1, because she'd been married before, I've been married before, and rule number 1 is we said, okay, let's take that, when we get married, let's take out that till death do us part out, because we're not gonna lie again. What are you talking about? Well, we lied the first time. We said till death do us part, and we're not dead, but we're divorced. So obviously we lied. So let's not lie to each other. Let's make that the first rule, okay?
Did she say that or you?
Have you discovered, you know how you like sometimes it's easy to tell yourself those little lies? No one will find out. That's a big one. It won't matter. People find out, it all matters. No. So number 1, I think, is just refreshing to stop lying to ourselves. Just stop lying to yourself if you do that. I decided I wasn't going to do that anymore. Rule number 1 is everybody gets what they want. I'm not going to say to her, nor do I want her to say to me, it costs too much, it's too expensive, we can't afford it. Those are limiting negative expressions I don't want to hear or say. So rule number 1 is everybody gets what they want. That's it. 2, you can't break the other rules to get it. 3, you can buy anything, but before you take on debt, you have to buy an asset that covers it. So you want a Porsche? Go buy a Porsche. What's the payment? $1,500. You got to buy a building that creates $1,500. Have a great day. Then it just becomes another game. Are you with me? Okay, now we're talking fun because no one's saying no to anybody. You just got to figure it out. Okay. So that's what we did. We have a game. We have our numbers. And now the fun is just watching it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But the game is on. So I'll leave you with that. Step 2. Any questions on any of that so far? Anybody? Jackie? Score. Number 3 on elements of the game is score. Okay, any other questions? Okay. Step 2, list your personal wants and needs. If it's a house, if it's a car, if it's a person, whatever it is, vision it, envision this. Find pictures of your ideal house, put them on the wall right next to the phone. Because when it comes to lead generation, which you should be doing 2 to 3 hours a day, the phone gets really, really heavy if you don't have something to offset the weight. And if you see your world sitting there in front of you that you want, it worked for me. It inspired me to pick up the phone and do something that I found sometimes fairly uncomfortable and hard. Because I wasn't going to let that get in the way of that, if that makes sense. Okay. So I did it. I cut out the pictures, I put them there. When it gets tough and you want to quit, just picture yourself having your ideal life. It's just now you're playing a mental game. It's just a game. Every day, when two people meet, there are 2 salespeople there. They're exchanging points of view. You either buy their stuff or sell them yours. You either buy their stuff or sell them yours. So at night, when you go to bed and you lay your head down on your fluffy little pillow, before you go to sleep, the last question you have to ask yourself of the day is, who sold who? Right? Who sold who? You either bought their stuff or sold them yours. You bought into their stuff that you can't have that. It's unrealistic. It's not logical. It doesn't make sense. It's crazy. Or you convinced them that you're going to do it. But there was a sales process going on there. You either bought their point of view or sold them yours. Who sold who? The most powerful force you have is what you say to yourself and you believe. It's focus and intention. Care what your grades were. Personal. We'll talk about personal goals. I have 5 areas I'm working on: mental, spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial. So, what do you want and need personally? What skills, tools, or education do you need? What do you need in terms of primary relationship? Are they on your side? Do they support you? Are they there for you? Do they really want you doing this? Gone at nights, gone weekends, erratic schedules, on call. It's not for the faint of heart. You got to want to do this, and you got to have a good partner. Family and friends, travel, material stuff, your home, your car, your boat, your plane, whatever it is that fulfills you. What do you want? Number 1, I want. Please fill it out. As I said, if you had what you needed, you'd have what you want. So number 1, personally, I want blank. If it's more money, Then you put down, I want to make $100,000 more this year than I did last year. So I need some financial education. I want 50 more listings this year than I took last year. I need to take a listing agent class. Hire a coach. Find someone who's an expert on listings that will show me how. Go with a firm that does that and can teach me. So just do a couple of these. What do you want? And then what do you need to make that happen? The want creates the need. Because if you had what you needed, you already had what you want. There would be nothing to write down. So I'm going to ask you at the end, what do you need to go do? So personally, what do you want? What do you need? I just put 3 there. If you have less, congratulations. If you have more, keep writing. I'll give you about a minute to do that, and then we'll move on. Thank you. What do you want personally? What do you need? What do you want? What do you need? Ten more seconds. Please begin finishing up. And stop. Hold your hand up, give your partner a high five and say, I got number 2 done. Okay, step 3. List your professional wants and needs. Step 3, please list your professional wants and needs. What do you need professionally? What tools? What equipment? What education? Do you need people? Do you need to get rid of some people? Do you need to add some people? Vendors. Your vendor's job, purpose, is to help you grow your business, not to make more money for themselves. Money is a byproduct. Money is a byproduct. It tells you how valuable the market thinks you are. Back to 3 purposes of a business. Give you your life, solve a problem, add value. The value part's where the money comes in. The marketplace will tell you how valuable they think you are. It thinks you are. The goal is to add value. The money is a byproduct. It tells you how well you're strengthening, servicing others. So professionally, so your vendors, they're there to serve. They're supposed to be serving you. You serve others. They serve you. It's all about service. I got vendors that won't help me take care of my business. I'll get a different vendor. It's cultural. It's our culture. We want to make you more money. I make no apologies for that. That's why we're called the Real Estate Business School. Your license guarantees you nothing. You know that by now. You got to learn to use it. It's just like any other tool. Okay. So what do you need professionally? Okay, goal sheet. This is where we jump out of order. You should have a goal sheet on the last page. You have a goal sheet? Yes? No? Okay. Who does not have this agent goal sheet? Okay, good. We're going to fill it out. Who does not have something to write with? Good. Line 1. Let's say you're getting started. What's the average annual income for a realtor with 5 years experience? That's about right. About 42, and you're paying your broker, the Irish, and expenses out of that. The net's about 15. It's just above the poverty level. How many of you would like to make more than that? Okay, good answer. So let's say 200,000 year 1. Good goal? Yes? Okay, 200,000, line 1. If you took a deep breath or lost your breath, your goals aren't high enough. Okay, what does it say underneath $200,000? Allow for taxes. Take them out of your commission check. Take them out immediately. Take them off the top. Take a third, put it aside. It's got nothing to do with goals. It's just an FYI. Don't go, I'll pay him later. No. That's a slippery slope. Okay, listings are going to be 2/3 of your income. Why? That's right. Was that you, Mike? No. Who was that? All right. So, what is this? What's the definition of leverage? That's it. More with less. It's the opposite of hard work. Hard work is a highly overrated activity. It will not make you rich. It'll just make you tired. The key is leverage. There's 5 ways: people, money, product, tools, technology. You've got to do more with less. Your success is going to be limited if it revolves around your favorite person. Because it's not about what? If you only want to be in a service business, then understand how limited your results are going to be if it revolves around you. So if you really care, leverage it. Serve more. Okay, so your listings are one of your highest forms of what? Because you can do more with what? How many buyers can you work at once? How many buyers can you work at once? One. That's right. You may have a bunch in the pipeline, but unless they really know each other and get along well, only one of them's going to be in your car at a time. Y'all want the same house, right? No. How many sellers can you have at once? Unlimited. Could you have 30 listings at once? Yes. Could you have 40? No. Could you have 50? Yes. What's it depend on? The people run the what? The systems run the what? That's it. Systems run the business. People run the systems. This is your job as business people. To hire people, get the right people off the bus, wrong people off the bus, get the right people on the bus and in the right seats. Why don't business people hire people? You'll hear them all the time. I don't want to manage people. You can't find good help. What are they really saying? I don't know how to get the right people to do the right thing at the right time. So instead of admitting that and learning how, they just ignore this and do all this all by myself. I'm just going to be the martyr, the hero, the guy. This is a long, hard road, right? Tools, people, product, money, technology. friend of mine bought a house on Laguna Beach, it's 25 million. We're walking on the beach and I go, hey, Bill, just curious, not to pry, but what's the mortgage on 20 million? And he laughed. He goes, you're still using your own money, aren't you? Think about it. 2/3 of your income is going to come from listings. Why? It's a higher form of what? Yes. Listings are a higher form of what? Leverage. To allow you to make more money with less work. If you don't believe me, go put a buyer in your car and do this. Just track this, okay? You can't manage what you don't measure. You can't manage what you don't measure. You can't manage what you don't measure, right? So measure it. You don't have to believe me. I'll give you a formula. Try this. Just try this and see what you discover, okay? This will be fun. From the time you meet the buyer, that first call you make, time it. Okay, so first interview, you find out what they wanted and needed. You got this so-called, got to know you kind of meeting. You decide to work together. How long did that take? Oh, that was rhetorical. Then you got their criteria. You went into MLS and you looked up properties that met the criteria. It prints out a list. How long did that take? Then you went and previewed them all. How long did that? You write all this down. This is the formula. How long did you go preview? How long did that take? You got to call the agent. You go there. It's not like a lockbox. It's a combo box. You call the agent. They don't answer. You can't find them. The directions start with from Maple go left to go, okay, where the hell's Maple? Can you start with the main road? Oh, wait a minute. I got GPS. Okay, so you go through that whole rigmarole. You finally go preview these houses. How long did that take? Then they come to town. You got to pick and you do all. How long did that take? Then you went and set up all the showings. How long did that take? Then you showed them. How long did that take? Then they found one. You wrote their offer. How long did that take? Then all the addenda. How long did that take? Okay, 48 days later, you got the thing written. Then you submit it. Then you go back and forth. If you go back and forth, how long did that take? Then you go in. How long did inspection take? How long did loan app take? How long? And you just track all this. And you should be tracking this. Look, you have money in, money out. You got to track every cent that comes in, every cent that goes out. Every minute you spend, you got to track it. Otherwise, how do you know what to do? So you're all like a piece of real estate, highest, best use, right? Well, how are you going to decide what to do when you wake up if you don't have a plan and don't know what your strength is? So this is why you never put a buyer in your car, ever, unless they have an address and cash. This is the house. Here's my money. And you do what you're supposed to do. Counsel, paperwork, get the closed. Don't drive them around day after day after day. What if they go, stop, I'll take that one. No. Do all that. Count all the hours. Write this down. Assign yourself a dollar value. Assign yourself a dollar value. Add up all the hours you spent with this buyer. Thing finally closes. Add up all the hours, multiply it times this number, and you see how much money you should have made if you were getting paid hourly by representing this buyer ad nauseum. No offense to the qualified buyers out there. It's just a pure mathematical decision that as business people, you're going to have to make day to day to day. Every time someone asks you to make a decision, you have to do a cost-benefit analysis every time. What's the cost? What's the benefit? What's the cost? What's the benefit? What do you do next? It depends. My wife is focused on cost. I don't care what stuff costs. I care what it makes. I'm looking at a property out by my neighborhood. It's been reduced from 2 million to 1.3. It sits on 9 acres in a subdivision. The lot's worth 2 million. It's at 1.4. She goes, it costs too much. Compared to what? Okay, it's all this mental junk. You got to clear that out. You got to get clear, okay? What's the cost? What's the benefit? What's the cost? What's the benefit? What is the cost of working a buyer? What's the benefit? Now do the same thing with the listing. So do that with the buyer, add up all your hours, look at the amount you should have made, compare it to your commission check. The biggest number wins. Okay? You got that? Huh? Do I want to know? No. I have no interest in that subject. I already know. I learned that in 1986, my second year in the business. We were selling non-qualifying assumptions, 0 down, takeover payments. That's all that was out there. And I had a woman walk in the house and she got snooty and turned up her nose and she says, I don't like the wallpaper. She had no cash and no credit. She had the opportunity to buy a 4-bedroom house for $700 a month. And she got snooty about the wallpaper. So I kicked her out of my car and said, don't ever call me again. Don't refer me, lose my number. Don't come back. You have no appreciation. You have the opportunity to buy this beautiful 2-year-old home, 0 down. You have no cash, no credit. You don't like the wallpaper. I just don't think I can do for you. Just do me a favor. Don't call me. And I went home and he goes, what's going on? I said, I think I'm in overrun. I never put a buyer in my car again. I started listing those properties 2 and 3 a night. I list 2 or 3 a night. We'd sell them on the weekend. The books came out every 2 weeks. By the time the books came out, those listings were gone. That was in the middle of a recession. Please hear me on this. No matter which way the economy goes, it's always a good time to make money. Don't get caught up in that drama and all that stuff. It's just noise. No matter which way the economy goes, it's always a good time to make money, especially in real estate. As I told this guy last week who was whinging and whining about money, I said, let me explain something to you as succinctly as I can. If you can't get rich in Austin, don't leave. There's nowhere to go. Is that a question?
Oh, yeah, I was kind of just thinking about, not necessarily for my business model, but just in general. Yes, approaching listings, all that, I agree with all that.
But
when a person, from a marketing and exposure standpoint, meeting with sellers, and the level of competition that exists in the market right now, and coming out of pocket, call photography, everything else, $1,000 right out the gate. A lot of new agents, especially, don't have that kind of immediate staying power. And I was just thinking, from a buyer standpoint, the system.
$1,000 out of the gate, what's that for?
Well, if you want to add in photography, signage, the $400,000 listing, sure, from a margin standpoint, you return.
Okay, well, why would you do that?
Again, I'm not making an argument the same devil's art.
Well, I'm playing the same game. So my question is, if you knew you had the chance to lose money, why would you do that? Whose house is it? Why are you paying for their marketing? There's all kinds of things you can do besides taking risk and hoping they work out. If it's not your house, why would you pay to market it and hope it sells? Sounds risky to me. This is what I'm suggesting. Do whatever you want. I'm suggesting when you do this analysis, you're going to find that there's more time, energy, and money going into working a buyer who doesn't know what they want, because the time you get them educated and kind of figured it out, it's a process. If they're crystal clear and have an address and a cash, go do what you get paid to do best, which is the documentation and getting it through the contract. I'm just looking at what is my time worth and how do I spend it and what's my return. That's all I look at. And I found I'd rather had 30 or 40 or 50 listings because I averaged about 35. This was in the mid 80s when they didn't have technology. This was all paper. But I averaged about 30, 35 listings at any given time. And I knew I was getting paid every month. Okay, that's my advice. So listings is going to be 2/3 of your income. Can we get back to this goal sheet? Okay, so if you're going to make 200, listings are 2/3, you make what from listings? What's 2/3 of 200? 132,000. Average listing in Austin is 400,000. May or may not be that. That's what I think it is. That's what I heard it was. That's the number I use. So is it okay if we use 400,000? Okay, thank you. Let's say you're on a 70-30 split and you get 3% of that. What's 3% of 400,000? 12,000. What's 70% of that? 8,400. So you make $8,400 from each sold listing. So if you're going to make $132,000 from listings and you make $8,400 from each listing, how many listings do you need? 15.7, round which way? Up. So it's 16. So listings required, please put 16 in that blank. Who's not with me? Great. Well, every listing, first year, you're going through a learning curve. Will every listing you take sell? No, some won't sell. You'll overprice them. You won't stage them. Just try to figure it out. 10% won't sell. So put 10% of listings obtained will not sell. Below that, the ones that sell sometimes don't close. So 10% are going to fall off before closing. So below that, you have to add, then in parentheses, 20%, which is 3 point something. So just put 4. Add 4. So 16 plus 4, that's how many listings you need. So total listings necessary to achieve my goal, 18.86, call it 19. Yeah, 16, 3, 19. Okay, 200,000 total, 132 from listings. What's the balance? 68. 68,000 from sales. Average sales price per transaction is still 400,000. Your average income per sale is still 8,400. So the sales required is 8.1. So round that up to 9. 9 sales required. 10% are going to fall off. So add 1 to that. So it's total sales required 10. Okay, so total number of transactions. You have 19 listings and 10 sales. What's 19 plus 10? So put 29 there. That's 2.5 a month. That's a half or 1 per week. So 1 a week. 1 a week. Call it 1 a week. You got to do something a week. Here's a $64,000 question. How many contacts per week for 1 transaction? Huh? 150? I don't know. Could be. Right. 20? 20 a day? 150? Yeah, I got 60 per week as a number I arrived at. That's just based on me watching me. So if you're working 5 days a week, I'm going to suggest you work in your business 5 days a week, work on it 1 and take 1 off. 1 off. Disconnect at least 1 day of the week. You'll go into overrun. 5 in it, 1 on it, 1 off. So how many, if it's 60 contacts a week and you're going to work 5 days, how many a day? 60 divided by 5. Should be 12. That's it. Okay, please turn to the top of page 4. We'll pick up where we left off. Now that we have our goals, professional goals, 12 contacts a day. So, these are professional wants and needs. Top of page 4. If you want that, what do you need? If you want this, what do you need? So what do you want? What do you need professionally? Top of page 4. Okay, step 4. You ready? Okay, turn to the person next to you and talk it over. Pair up with one other person and talk it over. What have you learned so far? Take 2 minutes and talk it over what you've learned so far with one other person. 2 minutes. Ready? Go. And stop. Hold your hand up like this. Give the person next to you a high five and say, time for a break. Okay. Thank you for coming back. Just FYI, you know lunch is being provided, right? No? Okay, so at noon, lunch will be brought in. Jacqueline, would you please stand? This is Jacqueline Ardenneau with Texas National Title. Please give her a hand. Oh, she and they have graciously offered to provide food, and I immediately said yes. And I'm going to ask that when next time you have, for the next 10 or 15 closings at least, take them over to Jacqueline at Texas National Title, and just you got to close somewhere. It's a way to say thank you. And then I'm going to hang around from noon for a little while, and we'll do a little off-camera casual event. So if you have any questions or anything else, I'll be in the room. I just want to kind of connect with you on a personal level. So we'll shut the camera off. We'll say goodbye to our friends online, and or maybe not. If they want to hang around, we'll leave it on. But we're going to just have a casual little lunch and visit if y'all want to do that. If you made lunch arrangements already and you need to leave, then I understand. But we'd love to have you stay and have a sandwich or something and then talk. So that's what we're going to do. So thank you for coming back. Any questions on anything we've covered so far before we go on? Okay, keep going. Okay, I think we're on step 4. So was personal wants, needs, professional wants, needs. Now we want to prioritize them. So step 4, there should be a blank there. Prioritize your wants and needs. What needs to happen in what order? So step 1, you're going to set your ultimate goal at some point in time. Step 2 was personal wants and needs. Step 3 is professional wants and needs. Step 4, prioritize your wants and needs. What needs to happen in what order? This is probably what you do every day. I don't know what you do. That's what I do. I get up early and I get stuff done, because once the ball starts rolling, that's it. My day is pretty much taken by others because I'm in management mode. And if you're going to manage, if you're leveraged, then you have people, money, products, tools, and technology. So you go from doing it to managing it. You don't do the work, you manage the work. If you want to do these events again, we'll do another one. We've got a little piece I think you really like called Evolution of Humans in Business. It talks about the evolution and the mindset on each step. But here it's when I start prioritizing in the morning. I get up, I rip through the emails, I get those out of the way, and then I start looking at What needs my attention now? And the way I focus what I do, I don't mean to keep saying I'm hoping this example helps. That's what I work on. How you doing, PJ? Does that say income producing activities? I have a tendency to misspell words sometimes. I got that from Tom Sawyer. He said it takes a very intelligent person to know how to spell a word more than one way. That's my justification. So this is what I personally look at. That's what I focus on. Okay. So when you personal and professional wants and needs, what needs to happen in what order? That's step 4. If you, excuse me? It's a great question. I've always got high intention. I just found it's a good tool to have. If you intend things are going to happen, things don't, you have this bumper sticker, blank happens. It doesn't happen. You either make it happen or let it happen. Things don't happen. You make them happen or let them happen. I'm going to make it happen. There's some things we can control, there's things we can't control. Right? Yes? Yes. So we'll do this piece if you want someday. It's really very fun. We'll do this piece if you want someday. So it's about an hour-long event we could do. I'll explain to you what procession is. It says the butterfly enters the flower blossom in search of nectar to make honey. That's why they're called honey bees. Humans are called money bees because they make money. And we do many things because they're required, but the bee doesn't know what it's supposed to be doing. What the bee is actually doing is pollinating. If the bee stopped doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is making honey, it would stop pollinating. Do you understand there's a bee crisis right now? Did you know that? The bee population is dying and pollination is not occurring at the proper level to keep the food growing. So some say. What I'm saying is the bee doesn't go pollinate. It just does what it's supposed to be doing. Makes honey. The processional right-angled side effect of the bee making honey is that it pollinates. So it says many of humans do most of nature's required tasks inadvertently. So there's a right-angled side effect to everything you do. Everything you do has a right-angled side effect. So if you want, we'll go, it's out there, but it's kind of interesting. It's part of the invisible part of the universe I was telling you about. So when I start prioritizing, Chris, I appreciate the question. What my wife and I decided to do is this, I don't know if I told you this, but have you heard the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad? I traveled with Robert for 6 years. Talk about intense. It was very intense. And basically, what my wife and I did was jumped off the cliff with no parachute in 1989. It's frightening. And we quit working for money. So the question we asked is, what does most good, greatest number of people, how we make decisions. What does the most good for the greatest number? Again, it's value, and then procession, side effect. That's it. So that's how I prioritize. The best thing we can do is create courses that add more value, that make your lives better. That's where the focus is. Get to the pre-licensing, then it's okay, I got my license, now what? Well, guess what? 90% don't make it. Why? Because no one's ever asked us the difference between accretion and erosion, but that's on the state exam. That's how crazy it is. So we got people who have never been on a listing presentation, never had a buyer in a car, forcing us to teach you information and stuff you'll never be asked. By the way, Wayne, how many cubic yards of concrete are in that driveway? Don't know, don't care. Get your license, learn to use it. Get life handled. Go do what you're supposed to be doing. But we've got to master money and we've got to master time. So we can't just be airy-fairy about it. Right? Look, it's a business. Your home is a business. This is a business. Your home's a business too. You got inventory, accounts receivable, customer service, bookkeeping, accounting. Some homes aren't run like a business. They're chaotic. Some are run like a business. They're very organized. So to me, it's all business. That's how we make our decisions. That's how I prioritize my list. What does the most good for the greatest number? Right now, it's writing books and courses. Does that answer your question? Thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. That's it. So you'll need to prioritize yours, whatever fits for you. Step 5, get rid of all distractions. Here is the question. Someone will bring you something, an offer, a deal, a referral, an opportunity. I'm going to ask you to ask yourself this question. Just look at it and ask yourself this. Is this thing I'm staring at an opportunity or a distraction? Is it an opportunity or a distraction? And if you don't have a goal and a plan, you won't know the difference. It'll look like an opportunity, but it's really a distraction if it's not aligned with your goals. Okay. Under that, list any distractions or impediments that keep you from taking steps towards your goal. What or who is in your way? And I'm talking about space right now, the invisible. What's in your space? Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. You get what you put up with. If you're wimping and whinging and whining to your friend about something in your space, you got to go get handled. If you're complaining about something that's in your space, stop complaining and go handle it. It's in your way. You can do it now or do it later, but why wait? I'm talking about space, and we keep our space really clean. I don't hang out with liars. I don't hang out with I'm really careful about who I hang out with. I want professional people who support and empower me, who help me, who teach me. Excuse me. If you want to know how you're doing, just look around and see who your friends are. If you shake your head at night going, why I hang out with all these losers? Hello. Or you come home and you say to your significant other, I really have some great friends. Well, there you go. So list the distractions. What needs to go away? What's in the space? What do you need? You need to upgrade a car, you need to upgrade your house, you need to upgrade your friends, upgrade your vendors, upgrade your education. What do you need? What's in the way? And go get rid of them. Step 6, Once you figure that part out, then I'm going to ask you to start getting really specific now. Add time frames. By February 1st, I will, and write this down and make a contract with yourself. And don't let yourself off the hook. When that alarm goes off or however you get up, bless you. And that little voice goes, you don't really have to get up right now. Shut up. I'm getting up. Because I said I'd get up. So by the date, by X date, I will. So it's the date, then the action. The date, then the action. The date, then the action. Okay? Any questions? Okay, good. Thank you. 7, focus on IPAs, income producing activities. Focus there. This business is actually, it's kind of complex. Seems at times it's getting more complex. But in essence, it's simple. I'll tell you how simple it is. Do 3 listing presentations a week. No matter what, if you'll just do 3 listing presentations a week, but 6 months, 4 months, 6 months, you're in the chips. In 6 months, you're good. If you'll do 3 a week, just do 3 a week. No matter what, do 3 a week. I don't know what your schedule is, but mine, when I was doing brokerage, it was 6 to 9 o'clock at night. I'm either on the phone or I'm on an appointment. I'm either on an appointment, I'm sitting in someone's kitchen doing a listing presentation, or I'm on the phone. If I messed around, didn't get that appointment, I'm on the phone getting one. So I'm either on the presentation or getting one, 6 to 9. Most people go home, fine, go there. There's no one there I can sell. I already sold them. Already convinced them to be with me. That deal's done. Time to find someone new. Well, you have me? It's only going to take 45 days. List. List everything that's not nailed down. List it all. List all of it. Just list it. Find your geographic area. If you live in Northwest Austin, do not go to Kyle. Fur that stuff out. Remember, highest best use. Leverage, leverage, leverage. More with less, more with less, more with less. Focus on income producing activities. 3 listing presentations a week, 6 months. Your financial problems will start to go away. You want buyers? If you're hell-bent on getting buyers, you just can't hear this, and you want buyers, go get listings. They'll call you like crazy. Right, Ken? Right, Mike? You want buyers, go put little billboards out to the neighborhood. Lawn signs. Little billboards. Okay, step 8. Question, who can I give all this to? Who can I give all this to? This is why I really appreciated my friend's question. He says, you're still using your own money? So I'm going to ask you this. You're still using your own time? You're still using your own labor? Do you understand it's a capacity function? Yes? It's a function of capacity. How much capacity? How much capacity do you have on your own? And how much capacity would you have if you worked with others? You've heard it before, I'll say it again. No one succeeds alone. You're only as good as your team. There are two myths out there, and I'll dispel them if you want. We'll do this someday. One is a team is only as good as its strongest link, and one is only good as its weakest link, and both of those are not true. Both of those are false. Most of what you've been told is not true because it came from the public education system. You understand the public education system is just 3 assembly lines, right? It's elementary, junior high, high school. And the product of the public education system is employee. That's why they teach you all that stuff in there. How to be a good employee, not a good employer. How to get a good job, not how to build a good business. How to do it on your own. Remember, take tests. Study by yourself, take them on your own. Well, that's why most people struggle with this subject because they've been here their whole life. Divide to conquer. To keep conquered, keep divided. How do you do that? Put them in test. Don't want to talk to each other. Just a product. So you got to undo all that. My question to you is, what if everything you know is wrong? I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying there's the question. What if it was? Look, in the next 4 years, 45% of the jobs in America are going to be replaced by robots. So good luck with those jobs that you specialized in. But if you can market and you can sell, you can go anywhere in the world and make money. If you can market and sell, understand functions, the principles of business, you can go anywhere in the world, any economy, and thrive. So that's why we teach business and investment skills. Real estate, you need a technical education to pass that exam. You need a business education because the clients want you to have it. You want to get rich, you got to have a financial education. So this isn't going to get it. You got to have these two too. Right? Yes? If you don't understand what a cap rate is, you're toast. If you can't calculate a cash on cash return, you're done. Why don't people invest? Because they're afraid of losing money. Why are they afraid? Because they're afraid of the unknown. It's common sense. I had the same feelings myself. But once you learn how to attach value to the asset, the fear dissipates because now you know. It's just financial education. Right? Okay. So if you want, these are the things we can do if y'all are interested. I'm happy to do them. It'd be fun. So who do I give it to? Shane's on camera, PJ's on music. Do you like what you do?
Yes, sir.
Do you like what you do? They love what they do. I can't do what they do. I don't like what they do. They love what they do. I love what I do. Here we are all together doing what we love. What is wrong with that? Nothing. They created over 600 videos and animations to enhance the delivery method of the courses. So if you're any of you taking pre-licensing courses right now? When you get to the end of the courses, all the videos and animations, those are all test questions. So they took the principles one, all 6 of those pre-licensing courses. They took the test questions and made videos and animations that explained it in a visual format. And PJ goes, this is cool. So what's cool about it? She goes, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Why would they read 1,000 words when they can just watch the picture? You're brilliant. And she and Shane built them. They're up there giggling, laughing, having more fun. I said, y'all know you're at work, right? You go, yeah, yeah, yeah. This is not something we preach, it's something we do. So understand that when you start building your businesses, that there are people, you're going to have 4 different levels of skill. Every one of us is like this. There are things that you do that you're excellent at. The things that you do that you're very good at, things you're fair at, and things you're poor at. Well, why would you want to go get good at this? You're not any good at that. I have no people skills. Send me to every management class you want. I'm not going to manage people because I don't want to do that. I don't know if I'm no good at it because I don't like it, or I don't like it because I'm no good at it. All I know is every time I give someone a pep talk, they quit. I have no people skills, and here's how bad it is. I don't even care. This is as good as you're going to get. If I can't tee off on you, I'm not interested. There's no sense in me doing that. That's why we have people up front. They love people. I'm like, you talk to them. So what am I good at? Something else. So I have an assistant, a VP now. She's excellent where I'm poor, and I'm excellent where she's poor. So what we get in organization is what you need. It's balance. That's it. Everybody does what they love, and everybody's good at it. So this is the goal of business. How to get the right people to do the right thing at the right time. So the question is, who can you give all this to? Because you've got to leverage it out if you're going to get it done. Okay? Yes? Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Okay. How to achieve it? Enough for goal setting. Now we got them set. How do you get it done? Number one, do what you love. You discover you don't love real estate, do yourself and all of us a favor. Get out. I'm not kidding you. You know, trying to do a deal with an agent who takes this half-baked attitude, hasn't committed to the business, doesn't care. It's a nightmare. Just go. Just go, you know what? I decided this is not really what I want to do. Number one, do what you love. 2, make a schedule for yourself and keep it. Reserve your time for you. You got this day planner full of things with other people, put you in there somewhere. I have time for myself every day. I read 4 newspapers a day, 11 magazines a month. I am studying like a wild man. I am studying and studying and studying because I am terrified that some 15-year-old somewhere is writing software that's going to make me obsolete. And that might happen, but the little so-and-so better get up early. Because she might be sleeping in, but I'm up. And I schedule this time, and I just block it. And I have my time for me. I know what you do. I take off one day during the week because I work weekends. Okay. Keep your space clean. We covered that. Get rid of that stuff that you know is in the way. Just, you know, just call it. If that thing's over, that thing's over. If it's done, it's done. Focus on IPAs. Leverage as much as possible. People, money, people, tools, technology, and product. 6, work on the business, less than in it. Work on it. 1 day a week, work on that business. Work on it, work on it. What I mean by that is write systems. If you don't have a personal assistant, go get one. There are income-producing activities, and there's admin. Are they both important? Yes, this is what football calls a skilled position. What can you hire admin for in Austin, Texas? What can you hire it for? 12? 12 to 15 for really good admin. So I asked you before, write down, I am worth blank. I asked you to do that, right? Okay, good. So when you get time, please go do that. And then just understand, when you're doing admin, you're working for this much money. And you're never going to get from here to there, wherever there is, at that rate. It's not going to happen. There are people who would love to come do your admin for you. So if you do it, you're unhappy. They don't get to do it, they're unhappy. You got 2 unhappy people. Let's make each other happy. Give it to someone else. You don't ever touch it. You write the systems. This is your job as employers, to give people the tools and systems that allow them to do their job. You get extraordinary work out of ordinary people simply by defining the task. People run the systems. Systems run the business. A contract to closing is the same process over and over and over. The address changes. The buyers and sellers' names change, but the process remains the same. 80% of the processes in businesses are what I call leverageable events. Why would you do something someone else could do when you could do what you love that makes you more money? Now, if you're the admin person, you hire this person. If your strength is admin, you build an administrative business and you hire salespeople. If you're a salesperson, you hire admin. It doesn't matter who you are. What matters is how you balance out your organization. Yeah? Okay. This is what I mean by working on the business. If you haven't read the E-Myth, may I recommend a couple books? Okay, first one, I'm still milking it. It's E-Myth, Michael Gerber. One of the best books on business I ever read. The E-Myth, Michael Gerber. And then read Abilene Paradox by Jerry Harvey. Abilene Paradox. Abilene, like the city. Abilene, like the city. Oh, by Jerry Harvey. Great book. I got a bunch more, but that'll get you started. And then number 7, get rid of limiting beliefs. You've got to get control of your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the most sensitive instrument in the universe. It'll behave according to what it believes. If you think rich people are crooks, don't bother coming to my workshop. There's nothing I can do for you. Memorizing formulas won't help me. Won't help you. If you got this underlying thought that it's easier to get a camel through the eye of a needle and a rich man to heaven, don't show up, because there's nothing I can do for you. If you think rich people are philanthropic, that give back to do well, look, money just magnifies who you already are. There's some rich jerks out there. I know, I live around some of them. They're horrible. But most of them are very philanthropic. They love giving back. They're charitable. They're not bad people. You want to be one of them. If you think they're bad, then let's get more good ones. So get richer. Let's show them that we're good people. Get rid of those limiting beliefs. 8, keep the faith. 9, you want to manage people. People manage systems. Systems run the business. 10, be prepared to throw all this away if a paradigm shifts. If all the rules change, if a paradigm's a set of rules. I tell you how to do 2 things. It blinds you to information, and it tells you how to be successful within those rules. That's the 2 things a paradigm will do. A paradigm shift is when the rules change. So a paradigm is a set of rules. We all have them. You all have rules in your head. Don't speak up. Big boys don't cry. Little girls do this. Da, 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 da. All the rules. Our parents gave them to us to help us survive in years beyond their own survival. Rules are good, but rules change. And so when a paradigm shifts, all it means is rules have changed. And when a paradigm shifts, everyone goes back to 0. Your past success guarantees you nothing when the rules change. The rules are changing all the time. All the time. And they're going to change faster and faster and faster. So what's true today may not be true tomorrow. So you have to question your assumptions every day. If you want, we'll do a paradigm event. Oh, that'd be really fun. I've got a great video on paradigm. This will be a blast. We should do this next month. Well, that'll be fun. Okay. Prepare to throw this all away. Remember, it's not the big to eat the small, it's the fast to eat the slow. So just keep studying. Paradox. I'll finish with this. When you go to implement this stuff, I'm going to ask you to look at it from this point of view. This is paradox. What's a paradox? Yes, a reciprocal event. Nicely said, Chris. It's seemingly opposites. So in this case, it's hard and easy. And what happens is, well, in my early part of my life, I took it easy. Then when I was 30, I lost everything. Divorce, lost my business, lost it all. When I got to Austin 85, I was down a couple million, so I was starting over. Because I had been taking it easy, suddenly my life got very, very what? Hard. And so what I decided to do was focus on what was very what? Hard. And now the hardest thing I have to do is what I do first every day. And ultimately things got what? Easy. So my saying is, if you take the easy road becomes the hard road. If you take the hard road now, then everything else becomes what? Easy. So if you want it easy, make it what? Hard. That's the paradox. If you want it easy, make it hard. So when you start going through your list, go find the hardest thing to do and do it first. Get it out of the way. This is going to be hard. If it was easy, there would be no value attributed to it. This ain't a morphine drip. This is hard. This is what you do is not for the faint of heart. There'll be days you don't want to do this. That's why I say keep the faith. Remember, you come from service, and ultimately it's going to get easy. That's the paradox. Okay. Last one, and I think I got this from Ken. At the bottom of page 5, most people wish it was, is there a blank there? Most people wish it was easier rather than getting better. So rather than getting better, they just wish it was easier. What I'm suggesting is just get better. And the last one below that is, please write this down. Celebrate, on the bottom of page 5, please write this down. Celebrate the wins. I have a really bad habit of going past the wins. You too? Just keep going, right? Pounding on everybody, screaming and yelling. So your strength, if overused, becomes your weakness. And if you're result-oriented, you're gonna walk over some people in the process. You'll dial some of that back and remember that you're only good as the people in your organization and the ones around you. That's as strong as good as it's going to get. So please make sure you take the time to celebrate those wins. I'll end the way I started. Thank you very much for your time. Hope it was well spent. We'll take a little break, and then Jacqueline and somebody will bring food into the room, and then we'll go into the next part. If you want to hang out and have a sandwich and have a little bit more conversation, happy to do that. Thank you very much. Enjoyed it. Give yourselves a hand for being here. Thank you. Thank you for being online. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you at the next one. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching the Goal Setting and Achievement Process course.